Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and today is Wednesday. It's October 10th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And I've already tried to do this once. In the first minute, my phone rang 4 times. So I just finally turned my phone off, and we'll get through this and uh, without any more interruption, so I can get this done. But my phone hadn't rang all day, but sure as I shooting when I try to do this. Chart lesson is somebody's coming through that door or the phone's going to start ringing. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I it was all downhill today. Very interesting day. Um, all you had to do was sell the key entry points, either the trend lines or the support and resistance when it went flat. And I don't recommend buying in this kind of market when it's down this strongly. This all had a downward feel all morning. And you could have bought these and done okay, but I don't recommend it. Just look for the shorts. And there's over a dozen trades here before noon, and so I only mark the trades through noon because it'd take forever to do every trade today, and there's just so much here. This is a very unique day, but I just don't have time to go through every single trade. And you probably could argue for a few more trades in here before noon. I only mark the really obvious, really good ones, because there's no sense in trying to take a lot of crazy trades on a day like this when there's just trade after trade, and they're quick, easy moves. You're in and out, and hopefully you had a good day. You just where you got to be careful is when you start to find strong support across here and across here. Just be careful until it starts trending again, and then wait for a pullback to the key entry point, which is the trend line, and jump on board again. And it really does get that simple. So anyway, I'm going to back out. We'll talk about the trades through noon, and then we'll wrap it up. But this was about a 100-point move today, so this was a really good day. And you can see all the trades in here. It's just, we had a full day's worth of trades in by noontime today, probably more actually. So. Um, But let's talk about these trades and get this day wrapped up, and let's see what tomorrow brings. But early on, if somebody asked me to show how I did this, this is a spike and a channel down, and somebody asked me how I found this channel. Well, I drew it off these first couple of swings right here and copied it, and then I just drug it back up to here. And you don't really know until it comes back again down here if you got it right or not. But just from experience, I've done this enough that I pretty much know if I've got it right or not. Before I get it up there, I have a good idea if it's going to be right. Sometimes I'm wrong, but if you do this every day and you get used to the price action, you get a good understanding of it, and you learn its tendency. That's why I like to trade one market, because you tend to learn its tendencies. But at the very least, I would have looked for another leg down right here equal to this one, but this thing just keeps going. So let's talk about what we've got. Notice you got a new high there. You get a first entry, you pull back, you get a second entry. Well, that's a failed second entry long right there. But better than that, you're going sideways, and it's a breakout pullback short. And at this point, I would have been looking for another leg down. So I would have measured this like so. Once we started heading lower there, that would be my target. And you can see we kind of bounced a little bit along that target area before we went lower. So, but the real key is this key entry point here, and that's where you're looking for all the major stuff to happen. But anyway, notice that midline across there. You got to pay attention to it too. But this is a double top, so that's a new high first entry. So now you really got two legs down, and you try to bounce, and you turn down with a bearish bar right there. That's a failed second entry long as well with two legs down, so, and a big bearish bar on top of that. So I like that one. Just trying to get a scalp, but it kind of continues on there. Depending on where your entry was, you might or might not have got a runner on that one. Then it comes back, and normally right here I would want to wait for a break and then a new high. But being at that key entry point and it trying to go through four matching bars that can't break higher, and that bearish bar right there, just go short. Then it comes back right here, gives you another lower high right off that key entry point. It actually breaks higher, turns down. When it goes out that side, I'd go short. Comes back again, gives you a failed second entry long. Same thing. Right off that key entry point, go short. This is getting into the close to the lows, so you do want to be a little concerned about that. But with that failed second entry long, right off a key entry point, strong downtrend, I'm probably going to take that. And then notice you get two legs back, so you get a second entry long on a failed. This is not a. I'm sorry. It's just a second entry short with a big bearish signal bar, right at the key entry point, right at the EMA. I'm going to take that one every time, and that turns out to be a nice trade. If you just caught that one trade, you could have caught a nice runner all the way bound to the low, and then look to exit right in here if you wanted to. And that one trade is good from 28.66 down to 28.58 or so. Easy 8 points right there. There is a lower high. It's too much sideways there for me. You got a lot of stems on both sides, so that could have easily gone higher. Of course, you draw your trend line there, but I don't see anything. You're getting too far away from the EMA. And notice it comes back here. And again, you're kind of going sideways. It does give you a little, that's a double bottom, so it could be a first entry and then a second entry. So you might consider that one, but there's still a lot of sideways. It's a relatively small bar. It could bounce right there and try to go higher. So I just wasn't crazy about that one. But, you know, that's one you could argue for right there. I'll make it at least green. There's several in here that you could argue for to at least be green. But like I said, there's just so many trades today that it's just not worth worrying with. Trying to take some, you know, a trade like this, just wait, there'll be a good one in a minute. And off it goes. And now we get an overshoot, so you got to be concerned that we're going to get a break. Really, the uptrend kind of started here, so I drew that trend line. You get a close outside, move to a new high, and you get a nice bar that takes a short here. Generally, I'd want to wait on a lower high, but that's the first break of this channel, and this has played out right here to the way on the way up. You really could have looked at this one like so as well. So you basically get the same thing. Really, your uptrend started right there, and you can see how that fits pretty well in there. You get a break, move to a new high. It's you're a little bit away from the EMA, so I like that one. You're still looking for a short. It bounces, comes back, and the fact that it doesn't take off right here and keep going higher, that tells me, hey, we're probably going lower yet. We still don't have a new a trend down this strong for this long is going to probably make a new low at the very least. So you know, this just looks like a correction here, and I talked about that in the mid-morning chart. Be careful that you don't try to look for a reversal when, you know, you're probably just going to get a correction here before it goes lower. And it took a little while to work through. This was a strong support area across here, and it took a little while to work through, but we got on through. But notice, really from about this point on, and you know, you wanted to almost wait on lower highs, or you wanted this support area to come into play. And you had several tries to go higher right across here, and you pushed back through into the support, the range area, pulled back, tested the EMA. That's where I like going short. You get another lower high here, but it's too much sideways stuff here. Not a very good entry. You want to be entering at the main support or the main resistance up here, I guess I should say. And then of course it bounces, and there is a double test right here and a nice bullish bar, but we still don't have a new low in place. And notice how it gapped right there. So you probably you probably wouldn't have been able to get in that without a limit order and see if it would come back, and it's not worth chasing it. So of course, we run back up here to the high, big bearish bar, two of them in a row. So you could have gone short below either one of those, really. Down it goes. There is a second entry short here, but and it is a little breakout pullback. It's not bearish enough for me, and there is a little bit of sideways, and we're still, we worked back inside there. I'd skip that one. Notice there's a double top, first entry, second entry. So there's a failed second entry long there. We're not down to the other side yet. There's several reasons you might like that one. I think you should skip it. There's a midline in there. I don't have it on there. You can see that midline right down through there. So that one's, you tried to go higher twice on that midline, failed. Nice bearish bar, but you got to go short at the low of the day. You're better off to wait on the corrections. When you come back here and you get two legs back, there's no break lower, but you can see it moves up. First entry moves up, so there's two legs up, and this is really your signal bar, but that's big bearish bars right off a key entry point. I like going short there. Your stop still has to go above that, your safety stop. And then again, there's a failed second entry long here, and it does come off the EMA, but it's just starting to get a little congested. But again, you could argue for that one. I don't have it marked. I'll make it green because it is a failed second entry long. It is at the key entry point. It is off the EMA. It is fairly bearish, but it doesn't matter since it's a failed second entry long. It's just so close to the lows, and we bounced here several times, so it looks like it's trying to fail on the breakout. But it is a breakout pullback short. There's a lot of reasons to like it. It's just not a great setup compared to some of the ones we've had already. We finally run down here and we finally get our first break outside, and it's almost like a repeat, just like we did here. We go sideways for a little while. So we're going sideways. So look to sell all. I mean, this is a repeat pattern. So look to sell all these across here in the lower highs and so forth. And you can see you're moving up here. You actually get a lower high here, but that's a bullish bar. And then you get a failed second entry long, big bearish bar. Just go short. Then, of course, it bounces. You could almost argue for that one because there's a couple of legs up there and it's a failed breakout, but I think you're better off to wait on the lower high. But again, you could argue for that one. On a lot of days, I'd probably take that trade being that way far away from the EMA on a sideways market. But here comes your lower high, big bearish bar, go short, another easy move. There's actually a failed second entry long there. And again, it's right off the key entry point. It comes back again, gives you a little double test. So, but you're kind of stacked up there. But again, I wouldn't be afraid to go short there if on most days. So I'll mark it green again. Like I said, there's still a lot of trades in here that are, that you might, and again, that's in the middle of the range, and that's always the danger spot because like right here, it bounced early, it didn't make it to the low, and that could happen to you right there, especially out of congestion. Now you got a double test down here, so you really could, it's not the best signal bar, but you could argue, for something like that. Runs back up, too bullish there, that's too big. You're a long way away from the EMA though, but look, it runs down, pulls back, gives you another bearish bar. That's the one you want to take. Again, you got a failed second entry long here, plenty of room to get out. You could argue for that. You could even argue for that to be red, but it's in the middle of the range, and there's just been too many easy trades, and so I didn't mark it. But notice it bounces early here, comes back up, tests the top of that range again, pulls back, gives it a double test. There's your lower high or your double top, big bearish bar. Go short, and look at that trade. That one trade would have made you multiple points. You could have easily gotten, you could have got out 2 points off the bottom, and it was 36 to, I mean, that's almost 10 points right there. 8 points easy. Just off that move, just getting the majority of that move right there. I mean, it's just one of those days, and then it bounces, comes back. Again, look at that bearish bar on the breakout there. We've already broke out a couple times, so I'm not as thrilled with it now. We got an afternoon time here, but there's a lower high that we want to see. You could take that one. There's a failed second entry long right there. Another one you could take. Actually, this one could have maybe tripped you up. I don't know if it went higher first. I imagine it broke lower and then went up and came back down. So you might have got stopped out on that one, and that's another good reason why. I don't know how that one's set up. I didn't watch it. I didn't see the price action, so I don't know how it's set up. But then we just started another trend down. So every time, here's another repeat pattern. You drop down, you go sideways. You could sell all these highs. I mean, it's just one of those. It's one of these days. I wish we had days like this every day. This would be the easiest job in the world. But unfortunately, it's not like this every day. And once we started going lower here, I would have measured this first leg. And once we started going lower, I'd look for at least a measured leg. You can see we did much better. By this time, remember, I mean, people are just getting out of the market. And this is when you buy. This is when everybody starts selling and running for the door. But honestly, this is when you buy, because when you have these big down, you might have 2 or 3 days in a row like this. So, you may want to buy a little. I mean, I'm not thinking day trading here. I'm thinking longer term. This is where you start accumulating a little bit. And, if you have another couple of days, you might accumulate some more, because in a little bit, this thing's going to bounce. And when it does, it will bounce hard and fast. And the ones that we're selling will lose, and the guys that were buying it up will make a bundle, and that's just how it works. The amateurs are selling when it's when times are bad, and that's when all the bargain buyers that understand the market come in and start buying it up. It becomes a bargain. We haven't been able to buy stocks this cheap in a while. I mean, when was the last time we could buy in the 20, down around 27 something? It's been a while. It may be a while again. So anyway, we got almost 17 minutes there, and I only did a half the market today. So hopefully some of you want to see the afternoon stuff. It's just a repeat. It's the same things. You can see the same pattern. So forgive me for not going through all those trades too. It's just too many, and this thing's getting too long already. So I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow and wrap up our week, but I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.